7 incredible tank battles. The desert sun beat down like a furnace, turning the tank's steel hulls into ovens. Commander Alec Vorton squinted at the horizon through dust-smeared goggles. They were down to 7 tanks. Once part of the famed Iron Shield Division, they were now remnants, ghosts of a regiment caught behind enemy lines in the harsh expanse of the Zalakar wastes. His radio crackled. "Vorton, this is Red 3. Contact north. 3 heavies. Closing fast." Alec glanced at the map. The enemy shouldn't have been this far out, unless— He grabbed the mic. "Fall back to Ridge Echo. Funnel them in. No one fires until my mark." Red 3 acknowledged. The 7 tanks, each named for gods of war, rumbled toward the ridge. Alec's was Ares, a heavily modified Centurion model, worn from years of service, but still lethal. Inside, his crew moved with mechanical efficiency. Harris, the grizzled gunner, Lean, the quiet genius engineer, and Davis, their nervy but brilliant comms officer. They reached Ridge Echo and went hull down, hiding most of their bodies behind the dune while keeping guns trained ahead. Moments later, the first enemy tank crested the ridge. Alec waited. Another. And another. They were Mammoth-class war machines, newer, better armored, and with automated targeting systems. Alec's heart pounded. These weren't random scouts. They were hunting them. Still, he waited. "Commander?" Harris whispered. "Wait," Alec murmured. The enemy advanced, too confident. "Fire." 7 guns roared. The lead Mammoth exploded, its turret flying skyward in a fiery arc. The others hesitated. That was the opening Alec needed. Advance in staggered spread. Break them. The iron shield surged forward. Shells screamed. The second Mammoth scored a direct hit on Red 2. They never stood a chance. But Red 4 outflanked it, firing point-blank into its engine block. 1 enemy remained. It turned and fled. "Let it go," Alec ordered. Davis looked up. "Sir?" Alec's eyes narrowed. "It's a scout. Not meant to win. Meant to locate." Realization hit them like a blast wave. They were bait. Night fell. The desert turned to bone-chilling cold. They moved silently under cover of darkness, heading toward an abandoned fuel depot. Lean spoke softly. "If we don't refuel soon, we're dead weight." They reached the depot by midnight. It was too quiet. Davis was monitoring frequencies, picking up strange, encrypted chatter. "It's not ours, but it's everywhere." A sudden flare of infrared hit them. "Ambush!" Alec shouted. Laser-guided mortars rained down. Enemy light tanks emerged from the shadows, ghost models, never seen before. They were silent, fast, and struck with eerie precision. The crew fought like demons. Red 5 used smoke cover and heat decoys to flank one attacker, shredding it with AP shells. Red 6 fell to a tandem charge mine. It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. Still, they escaped barely. Only 4 tanks remained. By dawn, they had reached the ravine of Syros Edge, a narrow canyon that bottlenecked all approach from the east. Alec planned their last stand, but something was off. Lean pored over the destroyed enemy tank's data core. "It's not human-piloted," he whispered. "AI-controlled. Learning every time we fight it." "What does that mean?" Davis asked. "It means next time, it'll know our every move." Alec clenched his fists. "Then we give it something unpredictable." Using wreckage and camo netting, Alec rigged a trap. Red 3 would act as bait, seemingly disabled. The rest would be buried in the sand nearby, weapons trained. Hours passed. Then movement. The AI tanks approached cautiously. Too cautiously. Alec's heart raced. Then the real trap sprang, not from the dunes, but from below. Mines they had buried earlier detonated in a thunderous chain reaction. Fire, sand, and shrapnel tore through 2 enemies before they could adapt. Only one of Alec's tanks, Red 3, was lost in return. They had outsmarted the machine, but the cost was rising. Word came through a secure line. Fort Jarrah, an outpost still manned by survivors, could offer cover and support. They made it there with 2 tanks barely operational. But the enemy was relentless. "They're sending in the Juggernaut," said Davis, eyes wide. "It's not AI. It's something worse." The Juggernaut wasn't a tank. It was a crawling fortress. Layers of reactive armor. Twin plasma cannons. And at its helm, a man they thought dead, General Cale Vorton, Alec's brother. He had defected. It was always about control, Alec. Cale's voice boomed through the comms. "Machines are tools. You use them to end wars. You're too soft." Alec stared at the ruined horizon and made a choice. They lured the Juggernaut into a trap. Fuel pipelines under the fort were set to explode on Alec's signal. The tanks moved like shadows, dodging beams and cannon fire. Red One was gutted. Only Alec's Ares remained. He drove straight at the Juggernaut, dodging fire, closing the distance. Cale laughed. "You'll die with your principles." Alec hit the trigger. The entire depot erupted. Flames engulfed both machines. Silence. Then, one tank emerged from the smoke. Ares. But it was dying. Engines sputtering. Guns out. Inside, Alec was bleeding, barely conscious. Davis helped Alec into the command chair. "What now, Commander?" Alec looked up, face pale. "This machine, this AI. Cale. They're not the enemy. Fear is." Lean transferred the last of Ares' power into a burst transmitter. Alec recorded one final message, a warning, a confession, and a hope that humanity wouldn't let machines decide its fate. As enemy drones closed in, Alec gave his last command. "Blow the tank." The blast fried the AI network node nearby. Globally, enemy machines went dark. The war paused. Alec Vorton died with his crew, heroes etched into history. A decade later, a child visits the War Museum. He stops before a battered tank, Ares. The guide says, "This is where the war changed, where 7 battles forged peace from fire and steel." The child stares, wide-eyed. And the legacy lives on.